Froogle Sim videos are powered by Jetline Systems.
Hello YouTube, this is Froogle and I'm here in X-Plane. I'm going to do kind of a different video for me in that I don't normally do scenery videos, but Orbx just released True Earth Great Britain South for X-Plane 11. Now this is their first Orbx region in X-Plane. Now those of you who use FSX and Prepare, you know that Orbx has routinely in the past published regions like Northern California, Southern California, Alaska and so on. This is their first ever region for for X-Plane or non-FSX, non-prepared, so it's kind of a big deal. Now I will point out, when I first installed this, it looked utterly awful. And the reason why is their installer had a bit of a problem. If you have that problem, you need to edit your custom scenery, scenerypacks.ini file. Find the True Earth Custom, True Earth Overlay, and True Earth Orthos references in that file and make sure they're in that order. So custom, overlay, orthos. If you do that, then when you restart X-Plane, everything is hunky-dory. But what I'm going to do, rather than just fly here, because I don't think we're going to be able to do the scenery package justice, since it goes from Wales on as far northwest as Wales and as far southeast as, I don't even know what's southeast. What is the furthest southeast spot in England? Whatever that is. And it goes all the way over there. So I don't think we can do a single flight that would show everything. But what we can do is use the magic of X-Plane and cheat. So here's the map. And I'm currently, now I'm at Shoreham. I used to live in, and I pretty much grew up there, which is Eastbourne. So I'm going to take this aircraft here, and I'm going to click on it. I'm going to pause the sim, and I'm going to throw this thing up to about 4,000 feet, and I'm going to drag it all the way up to Eastbourne. There is a reason. Now I'm going to change my heading. I'm going to point it that away. Hang on. That away. Cool. Let me show you what True Earth does. Now, it's going to take some explaining. First of all, it's kind of what Ortho for XP does, in that it takes a bunch of orthographic satellite imagery and makes it available with an X-Plane. Big deal. We can do that with Ortho for XP. But what Orbx did was they added a whole bunch of other stuff, like new regional auto-generated buildings or houses, new auto-generated trees at the right height and the right type based on where you're flying, which is kind of cool, and then merged all that with the ortho stuff. And look, here's the result. That's the sea behind us. Looks the same as it always did. But if we look in front of us, oh my word. Here we are in Eastbourne. Now, interestingly, I took you to Eastbourne because there's a little bit of a gotcha here. First of all, this is Beachy Head. And these are the Seven Sisters. They're 7 peaks of chalk cliff just outside Eastbourne. Now, just off Beachy Head, we have Eastbourne Beachy Head Lighthouse, which is here. Now, interestingly, this is where it kind of gets funny. That's Eastbourne all the way down there. It's looking really cool, by the way. This is where it gets kind of funny. With the ortho data that people use when they generate scenery from ortho imagery, there are classifications of the type of special building that you're going to find in any particular spot on the ground. Over here, you'll see there's another lighthouse in the middle of the ground. That's not quite true. That is technically a lighthouse, but it's not a lighthouse like that. So the classification is lighthouse, but that's kind of completely wrong. Anyway, what else do we notice? Now, I'm pretty excited about this. This is the Beachy Head Road. All the way here, one of my favorite roads, and this is the main road that leads down into Eastbourne, and then you would come up here, or I would come up here on my very fast motorcycle, turn down here and just let it rip, which was very irresponsible of me, but I did, and go all the way across there, all the way across there. That's the Beachy Head pub right there. Go all the way down here. Notice that there are parking areas offset from the road. That's correct. There are parking areas offset from the road. And then it would go twisty all the way down here, all the way down here, all the way down here. And that's Burling Gap right about there, which is where the fake lighthouse is, but it's not really a lighthouse. In fact, that's actually Burling Gap there, I think. Yeah, that's Burling Gap. So that would be Beltoot Lighthouse, which looks nothing like that. Anyway, the point is, this road is completely and utterly accurate. And the reason it's completely and utterly accurate is because it is a satellite image. Kind of cool. Now, the problem with using ortho photos for scenery is the lower you go, the worse they look. So I'm going to pop open the map once again. Let me see if I can do this gently. I'm going to move my aeroplane over here. What Orbx did is kind of stunning. If I drop this down. Okay, so here we go. 735 feet. actually, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Well, yes and no. They pulled some magic here. So here's the ortho photo underneath. Okay, and it's blurry and it's a blurry mess and it's low resolution. Okay, fair enough. But then what they do is they do all this auto-gen stuff on top of it, which we didn't have very much of in this area before, and it looks kind of stonking. Especially, look at these trees over here. Now I've got to find a way of slewing my aircraft very gently over there. This probably won't work. Oh, God. That'll work. There. Let's do that. And I'll lower it down a little bit more. Look. Oh, don't crash. And we'll get rid of the map. Look, that is what Orbx did. So they took those ortho photos, which on their own looked pretty darn weak, and then they superimpose all this accurate autogen on top. So all these trees and accurate buildings. Houses in Eastbourne do kind of somewhat look like that. In fact, this part of Eastbourne, they're actually a lot older. So these are probably wrong, but you get the idea, right? They're kind of English looking. You know, so there is a tall building here, which is correct. That would be on the seafront. And what is that? Is that the Wish Tower? There's a place called the Wish Tower, which is an old Napoleonic sea defense, which I don't think is that, but it's interesting. There's a crisscross there. It's probably around about there. It's the Wish Tower. So that's why I took you to Eastbourne, first of all, because it's the most, I don't know, unimportant place in the whole of England in terms of photo scenery, and I wanted to see how well they nailed it, because one of the claims of True Earth Great Britain South is they really do nail it, and yes, they do. The cool thing, of course, is with auto scenery in general, the higher you go, the better it looks. So if we jump up to about 20, let's put it up 30,000 feet here. So say we were cruising along in our 737 Zebos. Incredible, right? It actually looks completely realistic. Amazing. And you can see some key points from up here as well. There's Brighton Pier, one of the two down there. Underneath us is Eastbourne Pier. There. Beachy Head, of course, here. And the lighthouse, that would be Seaford, and so on and so on. Let's go somewhere a little bit more interesting, though. So let's pop open the map. We'll drop this down once again to about 4,000, 5,000 feet. Let's zoom out. And as we zoom out, we're starting to see some other stuff. So the most obvious standout features being EGKK, London Gatwick. There's not a lot of scenery around Gatwick. So if you have a good Gatwick scenery, then you're pretty much done. Orbx's True Earth GB South is going to make the fields around Gatwick look pretty cool. You're going to see the M23 as well going past it. That's about it, though, but we'll try it. So we're going up here to the Gatwicks. There's Gatwick there, and sure enough, let it load in. Now, it looks a little bit fuzzy right now because the sim has to load all this stuff in. I just warped us about 80 miles to the northwest. Not even 80 miles, but, you know, a long way to the northwest. It's going to take a little while to load in all that data. Normally, you wouldn't do that in an aircraft, but there you go. It's loading in now. So there is Gatwick. It's going to start loading in that stuff, and sure enough, to the right, there is the M23. And the M23 proceeds all the way down. It's still loading, which is why it's getting a little bit jerky. Proceeds all the way down behind us, all the way down to Brighton. Kind of cool. So that's all there. Now, let's go somewhere a little bit busier. Let's go EGLL. EGLL here is London Heathrow, much closer to the city of London than Gatwick. There. Now, of course, bear with it, chaps. This is going to take quite a while to load everything in. So I'm going to elevate us to about 6,000 to 7,000 feet, and we're going to kick back, and we're going to wait very patiently while this thing loads a ton of scenery. Now, the other stuff they've done here, of course, you only have summer textures. That's really a limitation of X-Plane more than anything else. X-Plane doesn't have seasonal textures yet. I understand that might be coming in a later version of X-Plane, but right now, we don't have it. Never have had it, so be it. But they do support the different lighting and time of day modes. So once this is all fully loaded in, I'm going to start messing around with the time of day, and we can see what this is like at night. So there is Heathrow in front of us. Now, I'm not entirely sure which way I'm looking at this point, but we should be extremely close to London itself, and be able to see some coolness of London. If we can't, I can certainly go back to the map and drag us over London, because in certain cities... Oh, there's London. There. There you go. There's the River Thames snaking its way down. what they've done in certain cities like Cardiff, London, places like that, they built in key points of interest. So obviously in London, you have things like Buckingham Palace. In Cardiff, you have the huge stadium that they have there, which is very, very awesome. There you go, all loaded in. That's looking pretty darn crazy. Let's try time of day. So I'm early in the morning right now, I think. Yep, let's go nighttime. There we go. So this is London Heathrow ahead of us at night, and then to our right, London. That's a lot of lights, isn't it? Pretty cool. Let's make this daytime again. I'm digging this. Now, the price for this, I can't remember the exact monies. I did pay for it. They didn't send it to me. I wanted it because it's such a big deal. So I paid for it. And I think it cost me about $40 to get this. Which, you know, when I had those problems initially... Oh! And we've crashed! Oh, my word. Be right back. All right, welcome back. So we crashed. I'm not going to blame the scenery. I'm not going to blame the add-on aircraft or the sim. We're doing stuff that X-Plane's not really designed to do here, which is teleport a light aircraft all over the south of England. So bear with it. If it crashes, it crashes. But what I've done is I've started the sim up again with us at London City Airport, which is cool because that puts us right in the heart of the city of London. So let's put this up to about 4,000 feet once again, and we should be able to go on outside. Look down, and there we go. Oh, look at that. That's the Thames barrier. That's the flood barrier that they installed in the River Thames to basically suck a lot of water out of the River Thames if ever the levels get too high so that London doesn't flood. I'm surprised to see that, actually. I know they have a lot of the bridges in. Do they have the ones that really count, though? Would need to go down there and find out. There's the Dome, the Millennium Dome, or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called now. I think it changed the name, didn't they? I can't remember. Guys, it's been some 13 years since I was in England. I moved to America and said, see ya, and don't miss ya. Anyway, so yeah, a lot more buildings down here. That would be the City of London here. So we should be able to see the Gherkin. That's what I'm curious to see, is there are a lot of very, very iconic buildings in London. And if we were picking up a scenery from a company like Jovietsky's, then we would be seeing all those iconic buildings. So I'm just curious as to which iconic buildings have been selected to drop in here. Bear in mind as well, we do have a bit of a confluence, a merger here between the default X-Plane scenery, which does actually have a lot of landmarks in key cities, and the new Orbx True Earth GB South. But regardless, let's see what we can do. So I'm facing that away. I'm going to have to zoom in down here. I wish this map did a better job at showing how my aircraft was oriented. And let's drag you there. Where am I? Okay, that is the Gherkin, isn't it? I only mentioned the Gherkin because it's next to Lloyd's of London. I actually worked there for a while. Many, many moons ago. And there it is, the Gherkin. How cool is that? So if that's the Gherkin, that would be Tower Bridge underneath us. Okay, not a very good Tower Bridge. We won't hold that against you. And next to it will be the Tower of London, which is this. And again, not an amazing Tower of London. But we do see HMS Belfast there, which is kind of cool. World War I, I think it is. I used to think it was World War II, but I think it's a World War I destroyer, which is in the River Thames. I could be wrong about that. Don't hold that against me if I am. It's been a while. That's kind of cool. So Buckingham Palace, is going to be all the way over there. I don't know how we're going to get there easily, but that's where that is. That's kind of awesome. Now, the scenery actually goes from Wales all the way down to the southeast, as I said. So, at the risk of crashing my sim completely, let's drag this aircraft over here. Don't crash. And then I'm going to try to move this map a little bit. In fact, let's get rid of the map. And then we'll pop it open once again. Yeah, I'm really causing X-Plane to have a lot of problems. Sorry, guys. That's about as far as I can drag it, I think. Now the map's kind of given up, isn't it? Oh, God. Oh, is that the coast? All right, let me just go and back to the main menu. We'll start a new flight. I don't know what airports there are near Cardiff, but we'll try to figure it out. Change location. Let's put up here. There's got to be like a regional airport in Cardiff, right? There is. EGFF, of course. It's Cardiff itself. We'll take that one. Cardiff, and we'll load that up. See you in a minute. All right, so we're in Cardiff. Let's pop this up into the air as we did before. Now, in terms of, I'm saying about the price, I think it's cost $40, and I think it's well worth it. I really did not expect it to add more than auto for XP. which you can do yourself for free fairly easily, and it actually does. So I was very pleasantly surprised by that. I think they've done an amazing job, especially with this autogen. Look how realistic this all looks. This is all autogen stuff. It actually looks very, very, very realistic. It's a delight. It truly is. And I'm looking forward to doing a lot of flying with this. Now, bear in mind, this is a huge download. It is Orbx's largest ever scenery, weighing in at a staggering 26 gigabytes compressed. I didn't see it uncompress all of that once it downloaded it, but there is a conversion process that the scenery installer goes through after it's downloaded, and that conversion process can take you up to apparently 2 hours or more. Thankfully, I have a Jetline Systems monster right next to me, and I got through it in about 45 minutes, but you do need to be aware of that. There's a lot of data that needs to be, and I don't know what the conversion process is or does, but a lot of data that needs to be converted, and that is a lengthy process that you're going to need to be very patient for. So you might want to download it. If you buy it, you might want to download it and get it installing overnight while you sleep. You can only install it through FTX Central, which I think is pretty cool. But do bear in mind that caveat I gave at the beginning of the video, that there are some issues you need to be aware of. This is kind of cool, isn't it? Let's make this nighttime here. Nighttime in Wales. I wish we had seasonal textures. It'd be so nice to see some of these hills covered in snow, wouldn't it? Wow. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, this is kind of cool, actually. Look, down here, there are no buildings, right? And there's only scattered buildings over here. I've never actually checked to see what X-Plane does with lighting in less sparsely populated areas. It's actually pretty good. Look at that. Very cool. Anyway, that's it. That was my first impressions look at Orbx. I have to pause every time I say it because it's such a weird name. At Orbx True Earth Great Britain South. As always, my name is Froogle. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.